Hi, good evening, folks. In this video, let's take a look at the Sabres UFAs, RFAs, money situation, and even roster size for next season. Coming up. All right, shout out goes to Mario Vaccarella. Mario, I believe this is what you asked for. If not, let me know. This is what I wanted to do anyway about the Sabres, because you asked me for a UFA, RFA update video. I'm just assuming you meant on the Sabres, unless I read that wrong. Sorry about that. Ask me again and I'll get to it when I can. But this was asked a while back. And if I did do this video already, I didn't scratch it off. You're getting a bonus one, buddy. You're getting another shout out. So there you go. Okay. Let's take a look, guys, at what I've done is I've listed out the main forwards I think we have to sign, the main defensemen that we have to sign, and the also rans that we just don't know about. And we're going to look at this and we're going to try to make sense of it, because the money part is tricky, okay? We can't mess around with the money part. We really can't. You see it all the time, folks. How many times have you seen it? Look at Vegas. Prime example. Look at Toronto, how they've hamstrung themselves for years financially, how they're begging for a cap increase in the league of $1 million just to have some breathing room. We don't want to run into those issues in the future ever if we can avoid it. If we can't avoid it, we have to trade away the pieces and wash down the chalkboard and put up some new names. There's no choice. We're in the cap era, so we have to be careful. Let's take a look at a few things here and I'll explain all my babbling in a second. Okay, so right now, the roster size is going to be 16. This is next year, guys, not right now, this second. I'm talking next year when I mean right now, okay? So right now, 16 on the roster, 16. The cap hit for that 16 will be $42.1 million. That means we'll have over $40 million in space, okay, to sign 7 players to get that roster to 23. Now, if we're going to do that, we have to be smart. We can't be stupid. We can't do the generous thing like we did with the Skinner contract. That contract will haunt us to the end of its term. It will haunt us no matter what. If Skinner can provide the kind of hockey he's given us this year, of course I'll be thrilled. He won't. He won't for the whole term. It's not his history of his career. He'll have another off season sooner or later. This is what happens with Skinner. If you look at his career, there's a pattern. Okay. Now, all I'm hoping for Skinner, guys, I'll tell you right now, the rest of that contract, okay, really, the next 5 years of it, if we can get 125 more goals from him in those 5 years, even 100, okay, at least in that ballpark, okay, if we can get that, then we'll be able to live with it. The year he's having this year, I can't see him maybe more than 1 or 2 more years of that. And then he's going to regress because he's in his 30s. He's going to regress no matter what. He's just not a Hall of Fame player. Hall of Famers can last right till they're like 38. He's not going to be one of those guys. So I'm going to be realistic with what I believe also when I talk to you. Let's look at these numbers. But Skinner, I'm thrilled with this year, for the record. And if he can do this 2 more years, it's like if we can salvage half that contract, I'll be happy. Half of it, just half. And then we'll figure out the rest eventually, right? So let's look at this. These are the main forwards I got, guys. Let me get over here. Now the main forwards I have that we got to get signed is Olofsson, Hinostroza, and Hayden. Okay, now Olofsson is 26. His cap hit right now is $3.05 million. And he's now a restricted free agent. Stay with me. Now means I'm talking to you in July, okay? Let's just say July. So he's a restricted free agent. Hinostroza made slightly over $1 million. He's unrestricted. Hayden, $750K, unrestricted. Our main blue liner, the only one, is Bryson, who made $889K. And Hinostroza's 28, Hayden's 27. Ages are important with this when you look at money. Ages are important. Bryson's only 24. He's $889K, and now he's restricted. All right, so we got 2 restricted, 2 unrestricted. We'll get to these guys in a second. But looking at Olofsson, he's the one that's going to cost the money. And this offseason, unless we go get a big name UFA, which I'm hoping we're going to do, And I'm going to show you why I think it's a mistake if we wait till next year to go after the big name. It's better this summer. This summer makes more sense financially. So I think if we're going to go after UFAs, it's not going to be like some articles I've read out there saying that it wouldn't be a good idea this year. I think it would be a good idea this year because of where we're at with our money, you know? But we want to be smart with this too. This is our ticket, guys. This $40 million of space open is our ticket to freedom eventually if we're smart. If we're stupid and we go out and sign some guy to 11 million bucks or 10 million bucks a year, we deserve what we get. We just do. Olofsson is going to be getting a raise. Okay, he brought his season back to life. He's going to be getting a raise, without a doubt. How much of a raise? Okay, is my question. That number for me cannot go over 4.5 to 5 million. It really can't. I don't care if he's had a hot streak. He also had a 30-game drought. No. So they'll take that into consideration anyway, no matter what. So Olofsson, if he starts wanting like 6 or 7 million, I guarantee you we're going to move him. I guarantee it. Adams is not going to be a fool with the money. It's one thing I've noticed with him. He's very smart with the money. He organizes it a lot better than Botterill did. And Botterill was brought over because that was his main thing, that he was a genius with the cap over in Pittsburgh. Well, not so much here. But when it comes to Olofsson, I'm hoping, guys, we don't go a cent over 5 million for this guy. If we do, I'll be livid. Really, I'll be livid. Because give him a 2-year deal. A 2-year deal at 4.25, 4.5 is what I'm hoping. Let him get a 2-year deal. He's 26. He'll be hitting his prime years. And if he's worth the big bucks, we'll know in a few years. You can't tell by 20 games if somebody's worth a 7-year contract. That is absolutely a mistake. So we can't do that. It wasn't like he was Rasmus Dahlin, the #1 overall pick. We knew Dahlin was going to be a stud even if he sucked this year and next year. We knew. But Olofsson is a bit of a risky gamble because there's still holes in his game, okay? I mean, we know the guy has a cannon for a shot, but you can't pay somebody $7 million a year just for that. You can't. That's a one-dimensional thinking. And he doesn't have as many intangibles to his game, not even close to Skinner's work ethic, really. You know, Olofsson's good. Is he Skinner? No. Skinner's way better. And Skinner's making 9 and we're going crazy with the 9. So if we started paying this guy 7, we'd be in trouble. So I'm thinking 4.5. I'm going to round it right at 4.5 for Olofsson. 2 years, 4.5. Hinostroza, you got to bump him up to 2 million. Just automatically, just out of respect to the year he's given us. He's got to be bumped up to 2 million. Hayden, I think we can get him again for right about the same money. Hayden's not going to get any increase in revenue. He's just not. You know, I mean, he might get 100 grand. You know, they might give him like a bump up because he knows the system. He's familiar with the guys, the dressing room, the city, the team, their organization. So that's where I see like 4.5 there. Maybe 2.25 for Hinostroza, around there. This is just me guessing. And Hayden, maybe $1 million, you know, if we re-sign him. And I think they will. I think these are the guys we're going to sign, the one that I put the main. I think we're going to re-sign these 3. Bryson, we're going to re-sign. And he's going to get, he's going to make at least double. He's going to get, I would say Bryson will sign a contract something like 1.5 to 1.7 per year for 2 years, maybe. Yeah, I could see him also going on a short-term deal for a few seasons. Unless he's in their long-term plans, then they might try to lock him in like 3 million. Bryson's going to make, he deserves double, to be honest. I'll admit it. He deserves double than that, you know? So if he makes something like 1.8, yeah, 1.7, might be 1.75, you know, 3.5 for 2 years. I could see Bryson getting that. Now, the questionable UFAs, guys, are Eakin, Miller, and Butcher. Now, we know we need right-sided defensemen. Everybody talks about it. I'm not very concerned about right-sided defensemen. I never will be. I just believe guys can play, you know. Is it take away from the naturalness of it? It does to a degree. It does. But I would believe that of these 3, I mean, we're going to miss Eakin, believe it or not. We're going to miss his work ethic and him winning all those face-offs. But is he worth keeping around for a few $1 million? Probably not. You know, Butcher, I think Butcher and Eakin will probably not be re-signed, especially Eakin's 30 now. Miller, 29. That would solve some issues for the right side. We have the answer right in front of us with guys like him and Pysyk. They're right there. So we can look at that as a possibility. But those are the questionables, so there's no point really discussing it. These are the guys, these four I believe will be re-signed this summer. These are the main signings for the team this summer. These four guys here. And Olofsson would lead the pack, then Bryson, then Hinostroza, and Bryson are both just as pretty important to sign. And Hayden would be the least important of the bunch. Okay, so that covers that. Now I want to go over why we cannot overpay guys like Olofsson this offseason, because he is the one guy that could milk us this offseason. He's the one guy. He's the only guy that's not under contract for next year that could really milk us and hurt us. And there's 9 reasons why, guys. 9, okay? Why we can't be stupid with the money. And I'm going to show you right here. These are the players under $1 million, okay, right now. For next year, all these guys are under $1 million next year. And it's not because they're making under $1 million. Those guys shouldn't get paid. I'm not saying that. But all these guys are going to get raises eventually. Cousins, Krebs. Asplund is up for grabs, but you know, we can leave Asplund in there because he still has another year next year. All right, so Cousins has 1 more year at $894K. Krebs has 2 years at $863. Asplund has 1 year at $825K. Quinn has 2 years left at $894. And Peterka has 2 years left at $887. Now, the defenseman, Samuelsson, 1 year left at $925. Power, 2 years left at $917. Fitzgerald, 1 year left at $750. And Laaksonen I'm putting in there because there's another right-sided defenseman, right? $853K. And the thing is, he really is our best prospect right now in the minors. Right now, this second. So Laaksonen most likely next year will be a Sabre. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. $853K. So 1 year left. And here's where I'm going to wrap up this video, guys, because these are the things. Cousins, 1 year left. Asplund, 1 year left, but I'll put a question mark. It's not a big deal. That's not a big contract coming. He's not coming into big money, so that really, I can take him off, actually. It doesn't matter. Asplund has 1 year left. He'll just get a little bump up if he does. Quinn, 2 years left, 2 years left. So we have Cousins who will be coming into some money no matter what. Samuelsson for sure is coming into money. And then Fitzgerald, he'll get a bump up after next year. And Laaksonen too, I'm guessing if he impresses us, I'm guessing he's going to cut the squad next year. Good chance he should, right? I mean, if he doesn't, I mean, his entry level's done, and then we got to figure out what to do. So, but then the year after, Krebs comes into a contract, right? He's got, and then Quinn comes into a contract. Peterka comes into a contract. Power comes into a contract, all in the same year. These 4 guys, okay? And this is the scary part, okay? For us, 2 years into the future, bear with me here. Quinn, Peterka, Krebs, Owen Power, all come into new contracts all in the same summer. This is why, guys, this is why we can't be stupid with the money now, because we have that $40 million has to cover these guys in the future. Get it? This is really important. It's really important you guys see this. For those of you that think, oh, well, we got to sign, what's his name for at all costs right now, or this guy at all costs right now. No, then we move them. Because we can't sacrifice these 4 guys for any of those guys I showed you on the other side. We can't. Not these 4. No way. This is our future. This is our team, okay? Yes, this is our team, these guys. But this is our future. And when all 4 of them are coming into a contract all at the same time in one summer, it's going to get messy financially, guys. It will get messy, that I can tell you. So something to think about, okay? I just wanted to throw that one out there. But next year, this summer we're looking okay. The next year after, yeah, we got Samuelson, Cousins coming into a new contract, Fitzgerald, Laxonen, depending on what he does, right? But when it comes to Krebs, Quinn, Peterka, and Owen Power all at the same time, my goodness, you know, we're gonna be biting the bullet to make sure we hit the cap and we're healthy and we're not losing players. So you got to save that money, I believe, ahead of time when you're doing negotiations with somebody like Olofsson this summer. You can't just give in and say, okay, you had a hot streak, here's $7 million for the next 8 years. Here you go. No. We can't do that. We can't go there. We do that, we will regret it when it's time to sign these guys in 2 years. That I promise you. But if he does a short-term deal, okay, and really Olofsson's the big contract this summer besides the unrestricted. And unrestricted too, I'm saying, $5 million and under. Don't go for these guys, $8, $9 million. Do not bite into it. No. If we do that, we're begging for trouble, guys. Begging for trouble down the line. Begging for it. No, never again do I want to see a stupid, boneheaded signing of a $10 million player before he's earned it. Like what we did with Jack was just ludicrous, looking back at it now, just ludicrous. You know, the Skinner contract will hurt, but let's keep in mind, here's the good news. Okay, next year, okay, next summer, Okposo, Gergenson's $8.2 million of cap comes off. So that comes off. And then we know if we're going to sign Okposo, he'll stay for minimum. He's made his bucks. He doesn't care. He just wants to stick around the Sabres. You know what I mean? The guy bleeds blue. We know that now. This year's proof of that. But he would definitely take minimum. I'm sure of it. Okposo right away would say, no, just pay me minimum. I just want to play with the guys, be in the 4th line, whatever it is, be part of it, you know? So anyway, that's it. I want to stop blabbing there. Just something to think about, guys, because this summer, this contract with Olofsson is key. It really is key for this in 2 years down the line, because if we give this guy $7-8 million, what precedent does that set for these guys in the future also? Think about it. That tells them you can have an off half season if you finish tight on a contract year. If you finish good the last month and a half, we're going to make you rich for life also? No, we can't do that. There has to be, at some point, moral judgment with things like this. So we've got to do this right, I think, you know. And I believe, 4.5 would be fair. He looked awful this year. He turned it really on. He looks really good. 4.5 for 2 years. And I'll tell you what, Victor, if you set it up, if you light it up, and you're getting 35, 40 goals in those next few years, we're going to talk big contract. That's when we talk about it. That's it, guys. See you in the next video.